So we're ready to repair the boot now, the inside. So just got the protection covers on, got a wing cover over the rear panel, foam pad trying to protect the nav drive and the amplifier, and something over the Harman Kardon subs in the parcel shelf, and then the partition's been separated just to stop extra dust and seam sealer flying about. Even though the car will be fully valeted before it goes out, it just helps minimise the issues. So these are the areas where we're going to be cutting the access panels, and there's the right one, and that's basically directly above the rear subframe threaded receivers that go into a cavity in there, and then we're going to split open that cavity further down and then weld reinforce the two sheets together because the rosette welds just aren't strong enough from factory. Here's the plates. Those are the plates which will go back on once it's all been repaired to plate it all up, and then it'll get primed and sealed. So that's what we're about to do now. So the plates have been cut open now, and we've got access to that cavity, and these are all the little bits of seam sealer. Obviously they get all cleaned up, but that's why you want to have some protection throughout the car, because you don't want that going through the interior. So these are the factory, what they call rosette welds. Just focus a minute. You've got one there, and one there, and this shape here is like a T-piece. That's just a strengthening bridge, just to sort of add some strength to that plate. So yeah, they normally drop or pop or fall through or crack. So what we're going to do is cut this section of that bridge out just there, where I'm roughly outlining, and that'll give us access to the skin underneath this one. And then what we can do is just bridge the two together with weld, basically fill the weld up through here, so it welds the panel underneath here to this panel itself. And then once that's done, we can etch prime it, seam sealer it, and then weld the plate back on the access panel on the top. And the reason for taking more sound deadening material and underseal off of this upper area is basically just to check where there's quite a few panel overlaps, and there's factory spot welds sort of all around here, and like a meeting point for quite a few panels. So we've seen some before that have cracked along here, the spot welds have dropped. So the reason why I've taken some of that off is we always do just to check the condition of that, but this one's fine. The spot welds are fine, there's no cracks, so that'll get etch primered and seam sealed again when it all goes back together. So they've now been welded in the middle, and that's just strengthened the lower panel to the upper panel that's got that T-shaped bridge strengthening in it. That's all been spread over a larger area. So now I'm going to etch prime them and put some sealer on it. So the etch primer has been applied inside the cavity to keep that protected, and the seam sealer has been applied on top and flattened down, so it creates a nice good seal, so nothing can sit on top of the welds. And now we're just going to weld the plates back on the access panel. Plates have been welded on now, both left and right. Some people stitch them on. We tend to weld them fully all the way around. It strengthens the area slightly and gives the sealer a good base to sit on. So now we just need some etch primer and sealer, and then we're done. So we now got the etch primer on there, and also the seam sealer, which has been flattened down, so any water or any moisture in there can't get onto the welds underneath. And there's the left hand side. So just going to put another coat of etch primer on top of that, and then put the bungs back in, and then put all the interior back together.